Mazda.
This program is designed to show you how to install a shutoff valve adapter inside the fuel tank using a special tool specifically designed to perform this task. This video will describe in detail the procedures necessary to install an adapter that will prevent fuel from entering the charcoal canister and affecting the emission control system of the vehicle. There are a few things that need to be reviewed before we actually do the procedure. We'll cover these preparation steps first. Fuel line and fuel line spills or leakage from the pressurized fuel system is very dangerous. The fumes can easily ignite, causing injury, damage, and even death. Fuel can even irritate eyes and skin. To prevent this, always complete the fuel line safety procedure first. Static electricity can also cause a fire or explosion. Before performing any work on the fuel system, always discharge static electricity by touching the vehicle body. As I said earlier, before starting this job, perform the fuel line safety procedure. Disconnect the negative battery cable. Remove the fuel filler cap to release the pressure inside the fuel tank. Remove the fuel pump relay. Disconnect the high pressure fuel pump connector. Then reconnect the negative battery cable and start the engine. After the engine stalls, crank the engine 2 or 3 times. Then switch the ignition off. Now, disconnect the negative battery cable. Reinstall the fuel pump relay and connect the high pressure fuel pump connector. At this time, you're ready to drain the fuel tank. Disconnect the quick release connector. Connect a long hose to the connector or insert the special tool number 49N0131A0D quick release connector into the fuel pipe until a click is heard. Then drain all the fuel from the fuel tank using the following procedure. Remember, you need to use caution here. The fuel pump could be damaged if it is operated while there is no fuel in the tank. Verify the amount of fuel being discharged from the hose and stop the operation of the fuel pump when essentially no fuel is being discharged. Now, there are 2 methods in which to drain the tank. If you're using the MMDS, connect the tool to the DLC. Using the Output State Control Simulation function, FP, start the fuel pump. The fuel pump will be used to pump the fuel out of the fuel tank. This method will allow the fuel to be pumped into an approved fuel container. Once the fuel is completely drained from the tank, use the simulation FP to stop the fuel pump. If you cannot start the fuel pump, then you must use the manual method. Now, we'll show you how to perform this task manually. Again, disconnect the negative battery cable, then remove the fuel pump relay. Use caution here. You're going to short across the terminals of the fuel pump. If you do this on the wrong terminals, you may cause severe electrical damage. Use a jumper wire and short across fuel pump relay terminals C and D in the relay and fuse box. Connect the negative battery cable and operate the fuel pump. When you are finished, stop the fuel pump operation by removing the jumper wire. After the fuel tank is drained, you are ready to remove the pump. Before you do that, you have to remove the rear seat cushion. Remove the rear seat cushion by releasing the 3 latches. Start by moving the front levers in the direction of the arrow as shown in the video. Then lift up on the rear seat cushion in the direction of the arrow to release the seat from the front locks. Then fold the rear seat back for access to the center latch. Move the hook in the direction of the arrow and remove the seat cushion. Access the hook for the rear seat bottom center latch as shown in the video. Now you are ready to start the process of removing the fuel pump. Remove the service hole cover. Then disconnect the fuel pump electrical connector. Clean the quick release connector first to make sure no debris is allowed to enter the fuel line. Use a cloth or soft brush and make sure that the connector is free of foreign material. Then remove the quick release connector. Now be careful here. You must keep the quick release connector clean at all times. After that, you are able to remove the set plate, fuel pump, and the gasket. Before you continue from this point forward, discharge any static electricity collected on your body by simply touching the metal body of the vehicle. This will prevent a static discharge which may cause a fire or explosion, resulting in serious injury or death. During this procedure, you put your hand and arm into the fuel tank, so protection for your hands is highly recommended. We found the use of disposable nitrile gloves for your hands work quite well for this job. And of course, eye protection should also be worn. Now, before we actually do the procedure, I want to show you what your objective is. Remember, when you do this procedure in the vehicle, you will not be able to see anything. The whole process will have to be done by feel. So, pay attention as I describe the technique you need to use to properly install this adapter on the shutoff valve in the tank. Your goal is to place this adapter over the shutoff valve as you see here, using this special tool. This tool is designed to hold the adapter in the correct position to push onto the shutoff valve. There are two holes on the side of the valve. When the adapter is installed properly, the two holes are covered with a downspout on the adapter that still allows venting, but prevents fuel from entering the valve through the two holes. Since you cannot see what you are doing, you will need to learn and memorize the techniques for performing this procedure correctly. Now, we will show you how to perform this procedure and allow you to see what you are doing to apply the techniques needed to install the adapter. Insert the adapter into the slit of the tool and slide it to the back. Make sure that the adapter is securely attached to the tool by the bump at the back of the tool. Once the adapter is properly attached to the tool, enter the tank through the hole left by the fuel pump. As you insert the tool and adapter, holding the tool properly will help with the installation. Use caution when you begin to set the tool on the baffle to slide it forward. The edge of the baffle is very sharp. As you orient yourself inside the tank, place the tool on the baffle next to the shutoff valve. The location of the valve is up and forward toward the front of the car. It might help to reach in the tank first to establish where the valve is before you attempt to insert the adapter and tool. And of course, use caution because the edge of the baffle is very sharp. Tilt the adapter leg up to slide it onto the baffle. Using the baffle as a sliding guide, slide the tool toward the shutoff valve until it stops. Use the guides designed into the tool to align the adapter with the valve. Push the adapter onto the valve using the tab on the lever. Once the adapter is installed onto the valve, remove the tool from the tank. Lightly push on the adapter itself to verify it's seated properly. You may need a mirror and LED light to visually confirm that the adapter is installed correctly. Well, there you have it. All the preliminary steps as well as the actual procedure on installing the shutoff valve adapter in the fuel tank. So review this video as many times as it takes to get a firm grasp of what needs to be done. Then, the only thing left to do is actually do it.